Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. Figured I would follow up talking about Stitch Fix because not only did yesterday kind of give a good lesson and kind of revisit an idea I hadn't talked about, but actually the way Stitch Fix played out today is giving kind of another lesson on something that we haven't talked about in a while. So yesterday I spent time just kind of going over the whole idea of putting on straddles or strangles late in the session that the company's due to report. And that's really because you want, or at least typically when I get involved, I want the risk to be pretty balanced between the bull and the bear side, like 50-50, give or take, right? I don't want it to be like heavily skewed to the bull side or the bear side because then that kind of changes the whole dynamic of what a strangle or straddle looks for, right? Like a huge move higher, a huge move lower. So um, Stitch Fix yesterday had a real big move during the day, and the stock was up a lot, and it closed near the high. Um, and what happened was that basically, like that move essentially skewed what had been my original strategy very significantly to the bull side. Okay, and for me, that made me shift the strategy up on the bull side to call spreads that were further out of the money. And then I shifted the strategy on the downside to puts that were further out of the money too, because kind of had to just change everything to adjust for the fact that Stitch Fix was up almost 2 points yesterday, right? Now, what happened was the Stitch Fix, I guess, disappointed. I mean, I think just based off the stock reaction, you have to, go with the fact that people were not pleased, and the stock got hit hard. So they were pricing in about 450 to 475, and they ended up moving a little bit over five. So that, in theory, should have been good had I had the right contracts, right? And now that's kind of the point I want to make is that the selection of the right strike prices and the right strategies is still going to be super important, even if you do end up selecting the stock that ends up having a big move. Because in my case, I went with contracts that had a little bit more time, so out 2 weeks, and were a little bit further out of the money because I tried to get them to line up kind of evenly on the bull bear side, right? So what I should have done, and obviously hindsight's 2020, is I should have gone with put spreads instead of straight puts and something closer to the money. So if it did move 5 points, then the strategy would have moved into the money versus having moved 5 points and just getting to at the money. All right. So there's no perfect there's no perfect way to definitely select which contracts are going to be the ideal for each trade. It's definitely kind of you kind of have to like feel it out. You have to do like some work. I felt like Stitch Fix was a good recipe for a big move, and it was a big move, but I just didn't get the right strike prices in place, and that kind of was the difference between what could have been a really good trade and only a trade that lost a little bit. All right. So again, at the end of the day, like I feel like you want to be able to find like the right recipe that leads to a big move, but then you also want to try to get a feel for what the market's doing, right? Are they really like paying things on the upside? Are they really paying things on the downside? Do I want more conservative strategies that are closer to the money, so I need a smaller move, or do I want to go something more aggressive out of the money, targeting a huge move, right? And that is kind of like a feel for how the market's behaving at the time, right? So again, right idea, just bad execution, and that's part of trading. Trying to constantly get better, and hopefully on the next strangle or straddle, we get the strike prices lined up well, and we get rewarded for the the play instead of only losing a little bit. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information on earnings trading with options or option swing trading, please follow up the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.